Hi, welcome to the Android development course. And the very first video I think we will have like when we start learning. This is about creating a first project using Android Studio and just getting it to run. Okay. Now, in this video, I am using Android Studio, the Canary version, which is like a kind of alpha kind of version. I though suggest like if you are starting off developing, you should probably use like the latest stable version. As in when I'm making this video, I think version 4.0 is the latest stable, so you should probably use that. Anyway, this left side pane where you have these recent projects, that's something that you would probably not see when you open Android Studio for the first time. I'm seeing these because these are my recent projects. Um, how do you get started with a new project? So you click on new project, and the first thing is Android Studio will ask you is what kind of your screen do you want. Now you can add more screens in your app later on, so whatever you choose here is not final and binding, but to get started with, Android will create some initial layout and code it will generate for you. So you can start with no activity, which means it will not generate any code for you. Or you can also start for developing for watches, or for Android TV, or for Android Auto, or for Android IoT. So what we will do is, usually for our first project, it's what's recommended is using the empty activity, which is one of the simplest codes to get started with. It does not contain anything inside it. Okay, and then we click next, and we can give this app a name. Okay, so let's say first project, we give this a name, and package name is something which is supposed to be in this format, something dot something dot something like that. So usually it is the reverse of the domain name of your company or your personal website, and then dot app name. That's how people name it. You can write com.example first project, which is perfectly fine. You can select a location where you want to save this to. So I think let me say uh, you know mm, so let's say if I want to save it in this particular folder, I have selected one, right? And we can choose whether Java or Kotlin for the project that we're going to be building. These days everybody builds with Kotlin only, so we are going to be using for Kotlin here. And our course has a complete segment on introduction to Kotlin, and how to do basic language level learning for Kotlin. So even though if you have not worked on Kotlin before, you have done C++ or Java or something before, there are like segments in our course that will go through it. But let's just get started with Kotlin. And initially, we in this video, in fact, I think we will not even change any code. We'll just see how the first project runs. And I think let's get hands-on with that. Now you can select which version of Java your project will get built with, which is like bytecode level is 6, which has less features. 8 has slower build. These days we generally build with bytecode 8, which is fine enough. And then there is this nice little selector for our minimum SDK. So what does this minimum SDK thing mean here is that if I select say API 21, which is Lollipop, then I will see here that 90 4% of all the devices in the world are running on Android 5.0 or above. So my app can work on all of those devices. I can select a lower version, like I can select Jelly Bean, which means 100% almost of all devices I can cover. Or I can select a higher version, like say Oreo and above, which means only 6%, 60% devices I can make my app install on. So what's the trade-off here is that if you use like a higher minimum API version, then there might be some features that work on new Android versions, but they don't work on old Android versions. You can utilize those features. Otherwise, if you want to support a older Android version, then there might be some features that you cannot use in your app, but then you are able to support more people who can install your project. So it's a decision for you to take. And generally when I make Android apps these days, I select 23, which gets like 85%, which is a good enough number. I think it's Android Marshmallow and above. And then we click on finish. Okay, And if this is the first time you're building an Android project on your computer, this can get a bit uh, you know slow for you, because this is the phase where a lot of downloads take place. So in fact it is downloading the my Gradle, it is downloading, and it downloads like a bunch of libraries that is needed to build this project. So here there are some steps that are taking place that you can see here. You should let these steps complete before you start editing your project. Okay, if you are new to the studio first time, you will get some list of features that Android Studio has in the right side here. you know um, let's see, let's let it complete the steps that it is doing. And when that is done, at the end of the project opening state, you'll see that there are two files that get opened in your screen. One of them is the main activity, and the other one is activity main.xml. So okay, so what are these two things? What is activity underscore main.xml file, and what is the main activity.kt file? So we'll take a quick look at that. But I think first thing, when it gets to the stage, okay, you should try out whether this can run on a device or not. Okay, and there are, like, a lot of things that you can do to run this project. You can either run it on an actual device connected, or you can run it on an emulator. Okay, so emulators is something that I do not recommend if your computer does not have at least 8 GB of RAM and is running like Core i7, one of the latest generations, and like is pretty fast enough, like you have a gaming laptop or something like that. Then go ahead and make an emulator. Otherwise, don't use an emulator. Instead, connect it to an actual Android device that you have. Okay, so if you do want to connect it to an emulator, in that case you should select go to this place which says AVD manager, or you can have this button out there for the AVD manager there. Click on that, and you can create emulators. How you can create emulators? With create virtual device, you can select, like, I want to create an emulator for Pixel 3a, and then we can select which OS version it should run. Nougat, Oreo, Android P, Android Q, Android R, all of that stuff you can select here. You can download the operating system, and you can go to the next place where you can give your emulator a name. You can select like how much RAM it would have, how much storage it would have, and you can create an emulator. Okay, so I have an emulator. Actually, I have a Nexus 5X running on Android 10 with 4.3 GB space. I can run that emulator here. I'll start up on my screen here. So the reason I'm using an emulator here, again, like I said, I don't recommend using one, but I'm using it because it's easier to show it on the video, the code running on the emulator, rather than connecting an actual device. Then I will have to mirror the screen. But I really heavily recommend using an actual device in your initial part of your development. Okay, uh, so when you use an actual device, what you need to do is you need to go to settings of your device. You should go to your about phone or about device something, and there'll be this soft build number or something, or build version or software version. You gotta click that like 7 times, and then it says you are a developer. Then you go back, you would find that there would be some developer options that get enabled because of this. So if you go to developer options, and you should enable USB debugging here. Okay, so this is needed for an actual device where you connect it via USB. With emulators, you can already start running apps on them because it's running within your computer, but turning on USB debugging is necessary for an actual device for you to be able to run apps on that. Okay, so now that you have a device either connected or you have an emulator running, you can click on this run button, and as you see right now, I have not changed a single line of code yet. We'll get to that in the next stages, but we just want to make sure that the first project can actually build on your laptop, and it can run on your computer. So we get we have like files of our code and everything, and I'm gonna go through them very soon. But let's just, without changing anything, let's click on the this run button, and as you can see, it will start something called Gradle build running. And there's gonna be this build tab here where you can see the steps of it being built, and there are multiple steps that take place, and most of the steps will not make a lot of sense to you, the names of these right now. That's fine, we don't need to understand them when we are getting started. Even I did not understand any of these steps when I got started. But here it is, our project has run, and the name of it would show up as first project, and it would say hello world. That's it, that's all that you need to do. So if you get stuck at this point anywhere, there are like a lot of things that you can get stuck on. I think the best thing would be at this stage to Google, because a lot of people get stuck at this stage, because the Java did not get installed, Android Studio did not get installed. Okay, so you might be able to go to the internet and ask for like Android Studio installation problems, and there are like a bunch of problems that can happen, and there are a lot of articles on the net about that. Android Studio first app not running, or something like this. So you might need to like go to Google search a lot to get to the stage, but getting to the stage is important. Don't start writing any code before you first ensure that you're able to build a project, get it to run on your emulator or on your physical device. Okay, that's really the very first important step. Don't think about do I know Kotlin or not. Don't think, do I understand what the files and the source code, what is the structure. Don't try to think about all of that. Just start Android Studio, get the project building. That's the first step. Okay, so if you have gone up till here, then that's big progress. Okay, it took me, for the first time I was learning, and that was like way back. It was in 2010, I think. It's been 10 years when I did this first time, and I was in school, I was not even in college. And Android Studio did not exist. There used to be Eclipse, and this step I think took me 3-4 days at least. I think maybe a week or so, getting it to work on a device. The emulator did not run on my computer. Then I had to connect it to my device, and developer options and all kind of these kind of things did not exist. So yeah, I mean, these days it's much easier, but still I think if you get till here, everything else is going to be much easier as we go ahead. Okay, make sure that running the project is something that works perfectly fine for you. Okay,